by 2, 7 rows deep, and rolling up to the start-finish line. It looks like Asher going a little bit off track as the inside.
As they can. Sebring making an amazing dive into turn 1, and electroshocks off. Eggful gets the move.
But MNU trying to take a move.
Big contact from 3 points. 5 different punches.
Big incident with Snowdog, our leader.
As we head into Town Row, it's a big crash. It's a big crash between the two title contenders.
Welcome to the finale round here for the Simufur Prototype Challenge. We are going to be racing in Sebring, Florida. A very legendary track, very famous for its very bumpy terrain. You know, you gotta respect the bumps. Anyways, our drivers will be racing on this circuit, and it will be commentated by myself, Suzuka, Takahashi, and alongside is Wolfin Ravenloft, who actually raced in the Prototype Challenge in the previous round. So, Wolfin, how's it out there? How was it?
It was okay. To be real, it was interesting. I've had some experience with LMP, but in iRacing, like I've never really, I guess you could say, I've never really agreed with these types of cars. My driving styles never really worked with these cars, but I truck it through till the end, and here I am. But these are, once you get used to them, they are quite fun cars. Yeah, this is one of those things. You just have to have the niche for them. As we follow along now with RK, who is currently the championship leader by a fairly large margin. All he has to do at this point is more or less finish, and he will be good. Currently, we have a few drivers out getting their practice set up and ready, because we will be going to qualifying in about 7 minutes. So we'll be super excited for once quali gets going.
Yeah, now we do want to apologize for not being with you guys next week for Bahrain now, because I mean, overall it's been pretty hot. I mean, in Europe, I've been hearing a lot about this heat wave, and it's not really good for the drivers, especially when you're sitting in your rig and you're just physically exerting yourself. Even though it's not much as a real race car, you're still gonna break a sweat, and that's not ideal. But anyways, we're back here racing, and we are here in Sebring, so hopefully these drivers can endure the temperatures while racing in this very technical track.
Yeah, this is a incredibly technical, very technical, very tough track. It's made, and not only that, this is on an airfield, so you can see as we see RK go along for another lap, you can see the cars bouncing around like crazy. That's not a physical, that's not a game issue, that's actually what happens. The cement there is actually in patches, so the cars actually bounce around like that, both in the sim and in real life. It's pretty scary, because you take a break in those corners and you do it wrong, you could wind up hitting the wall with with just no warning at all. So it'll be interesting to see how things go. Currently following along with Adrian Newt, currently the fastest driver on track in this practice session, but we'll see how that goes. They're heading out of, I believe this is turn, I almost want to say this is turn 7 or 8, or am I way off?
I have no idea either. Anyways.
Yeah, we can see that they're doing well. I mean, I believe they have been knocked off, and they were This was by Raphael. I was gonna say I think their name is Rothian, but then as I was going to say that and try to attempt to say that name, Rafael Rodriguez 152.702. Pretty decent time, but this is just people getting ready. They are currently P2 in the standings. In that, I'm totally unbiased. Very beautiful, very beautiful looking car that that they have. And now, oh, just as I say
Oh,
that, they
that
go
is
wide, going
wide.
out of the
Oh.
out of that corner. That's one of the trickier spots on this track because you don't have a lot of time to set the brakes because you could easily lock up. Anything could happen there because you only have about almost next to no space going into that corner. It's one of the tougher spots on this track, so definitely we're going to be seeing a lot more of those in the future.
Yeah, it's really easy to upset the balance of the car with these bumps receiving. And again, I'm gonna say this once again, but respect the bumps, and it can bite back, and it certainly did with Rafael Rodriguez. Here was another challenger for the lead, Eduardo Alvarez, who is really up close behind Alexander Van Wood. And again, I'm not biased, very good looking to number 38 TGR livery, but
Totally not biased.
Alvarez really chasing right now, I think. I mean, save this for the race, but this is pretty interesting to see in a practice session.
Yeah, you can see people are just getting their stuff ready, practicing getting into fights and seeing where they can maybe make some moves during the race and seeing how their tires hand up because remember, in practice they have unlimited tires. However, during qualifying and the race, they only have 8 tires. So 4 sets that you start with, and then another 4 for the race that you have the option to use at the start, or you use during your pit, and it's just going to depend on what you want to do. The general strategy, it seemed, was they'd use qualifying tires to get the car because they will already have some temperature in them for the race. So that way you have at least a decent start, and you wouldn't have to worry about holding back and then using the new set of tires during the race.
Yeah, I feel like tire preservation will be quite a challenge here in Sebring because those bumps are just really kneading on the tires like a massaging chair, you know, just bumping. It's just a lot of undulation, and it's gonna put a lot of wear on those tires. But I mean, that's the challenge of the prototype challenge, you know, just keeping those tires as optimal as possible and
Not locking up.
and just and not locking up, because locking up, I mean, I've been hearing this a lot, but flat spotting the tires, you'll really feel it. The car will vibrate under you.
So let me give you a fun little story. So I had that happen at Monza, and we were in the CK9 comms, and they were basically saying, "Hey, we know you have a flat spot." I was like, "How do you know?" "Oh, because we can literally hear your rig vibrating from all the bumps from you hitting your flat spot." My rig was literally vibrating from how bad the if you get a flat spot, you will feel it. It's not a pleasant feeling. I'm gonna be honest, you get a little bit nervous, especially when you have a major flat spot. You get a little bit nervous because you're worried that your rig's gonna fall apart because of just how violent and how violent it is. So
Yeah, those vibrations can be really, really uncomfortable. I mean, I've experienced it a few times before testing in LMU, and yeah, I mean, with a 12 meter motor in my hands, it just feels scary. I mean, it will unsettle you easily.
I have a 9 Newton and it's terrifying. What was it? R9 for the win.
Yeah. Well, apologies for the current technical issues we're having. But so far it's Robbie Kelly, fastest of the bunch, with Alvarez trailing behind, and P3 is Rafael Rodriguez. So your usual guests on the top 3 in the terms of practice, but we do have surprise from Adrian Newt, Alexander Van Wood, and Katie Timberfox, who fill up the P4, 5, and 6 spots. But And P7 was actually, I think, I don't remember correctly, but I think this was last week's winner in Bahrain, Ratiainen, who it was a it was a very quiet race, but I mean, chatting with the TTR drivers, it was a pretty interesting experience. Just helping it, just driving off each other, you know, just having that little train and just combating the strategy of the likes of Rodriguez.
It was an interesting race. I did hear that Raphael was unfortunately having a little bit of a rough time that race. I don't remember the full story because unfortunately at that time I was away for Father's Day. So I did get the gist of it. They did try. They did get a P4, but unfortunately that that was basically how their race went. It's unfortunate, but what can you do, you know? So
I mean, yeah, racing gives, racing takes, and we are just about to wrap up the practice sessions. Apologies if we still can't get a broadcast just yet, but we are actively working on that. But from my cameras, these drivers are actually coming out for their qualification laps. So at the moment, if I check on my radar, I think, yeah, I see Rodriguez in the bunch. Uh, I think Robbie Kelly's staying till the last moment. Alexander Vanderwood and Adrian are also out there as well.
yeah, we could see a few drivers coming out now. Now, bear in mind, they're coming out not out of the main strip that everybody else comes out of. They're actually on the Ullman Straight before sunset. And you can see that the garage there is not only awkward, it's almost it's a titanic pain to get out of there. And yep, and here we go as we follow along. Rafael Rodriguez coming out of the pit lane. Here we go, heading down into turn one. So far, so good. Now heading down toward, it'll be then to turn two and to turn three. It'll be hard braking going into turn two, probably around the 300, 200 meter board. Here we go. Nice and easy. Now on to turn four and into turn five. Gotta really be careful of the brakes. You're in a low gear and just trying to keep that car stable. Heading into turn three, heading down in the next corner. Now down toward the back straight. Now you're gonna be hard on the brakes going right there. Down in the first gear, trying to keep it as tight as you can to set yourself up going into the next corner. Heading on the inside, trying to hold that line as we head down toward turn 10. Turn 10 into Collier, turn 11. Now on the Collier, heading into turn 11. There will be a little bit of a braking going into turn 12. You can see them setting it up on the outside. Nice and easy. Now, following along, they're setting themselves up. This will be the trickiest spot. This will be 12's turns 14, 15, Bishop and the Bishop section. Now heading toward 16, Le Mans. You can see they are going to be going a little bit wide. Remember, you could get away with it a little bit more. Now onto the Ullman Straight. Looks like it's going to be a decent lap so far. It's going to be a decent outlap so far. You can see they're warming up the tires, heading into sunset, heading toward sunset, the final corner. Probably one of the most difficult spots on this track, just because of the fact that you can see the cars are bouncing along everywhere. There is no even section here. He's just giving it all he's got, and then that will be a lap here at Sebring.
Yeah, and as you notice, Rafael Rodriguez did weave a bit. And that's because, I mean, they all came fresh from the pit lane. Like, the pit exit just spits you out to start a qualifying lap, and you're just not ready. Your tires aren't up to temp yet, so I feel like getting those tires up to temp was the priority, but also get a little bit of an understanding of how the car feels around these corners. So Rafael Rodriguez doing an excellent job, but at the moment it's actually Alexander Vanderwood who's on pole position alongside Adrian Newt and Robbie Ratiainen. So we do have a Tig Gang Racing 1, 2, 3 so far.
so far, but things could change. Remember, Raphael had just came out of the pits. This next lap will probably be their flying lap. We'll wait and see as we are following along now with, I believe this is not Vanderwood, but it is Vanderwood.
That's Vanderwood.
Yeah, it is Vanderwood. I'm sorry. It's sometimes it's hard. Okay, I do my best. Yeah, Alexander Vanderwood coming out of turn 12 and 13, and now heading towards section 3, and then they will be on their way to set their. This will be their second time, I believe. Now onto the Ullman Straight, so they will be setting themselves up for Sunset. Let's see what this time is. They are now entering Sunset. You can see he's getting it as tight as he can. Look at it, car bouncing like crazy. One wrong move and it could all be over, and he goes a little bit, not wide, but keeps it nice and steady. What is this time going to be? A 1:48.40. That's going to be tough to beat.
Alexander Vanderwood is on fire right now with these lap times. 3 seconds off of Eduardo Alvarez. They got those tires toasty right off the bat. And then, but Rafael Rodriguez answers with a lap time that is only just barely 2/10 off. And Jake Jensen with 9/10 off of him.
9/10. You're now following along with Sierra Thomas, who is having a little bit of a rough time. They're currently in P10, but not too far out. But it looks like their lap times have improved by a fair bit, over a second each sector. They are now going. This is probably going to put them at the very least, if this stays the way it is, I would expect them at the very least, if they're lucky, 5th, but if not, probably 6th. If they can really push this car down, they're now heading down the Ullman Straight, heading down 1 corner to go into the Ullman Straight. Now on to Sunset, keeping the car as stable as they can on this bouncy last corner, heading down the corner. It was a little bit wide, but was able to save it. It's going to be P6. Only a couple tenths behind Katie Timberfox.
I mean, it's a pretty decent time from Sierra Thomas. That's a 1.9. Not too far of Alexander Vanderwood. She places herself within the top half of within the midpoint of this grid so far. But Alexander Vanderwood with another set of purple sectors. This could be another response to just assert their dominance and just increase their pole position.
You sure about that? That time was just beat. And it switches.
Vanderwood has come back with a lap time that's 1:10. They're trading blows, Alvarez and Vanderwood.
Don't keep Rafael Rodriguez out of this either. They could be improving their time, and they do. 1:46.2. Almost a second off of the other 2 times. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez with a stonking lap time. Just pushes the rest of the field out of the way. That is 1 second off. It's going to be a really tough answer for Vanderwood or Alvarez. And I do want to point out Robbie Kelly's, I think, on and out lap, or at least on the phase 2 warm up their tires. So maybe they will come out in the last minutes of this qualifying session. That's usually their strategy, you know, not going early with the qualification, but saving those tires to get a few laps that could see them at the top of the leaderboards.
Yeah, we're now following with Sierra Thomas again. Another improvement by them. This could be another position gained. It's been trading blows in the midfield and in the top field. As you can see, Sierra Thomas heading down the lap. It's going across the line. 1 position gained to 1:48.7. Not bad at all.
Yeah, Sierra Thomas out qualifying their teammate Daniel Taverner by the slimmest of margin. That is Sierra Thomas
that's
going
scary.
very wide and saving it. Anyways, there's Robbie Kelly with an initial banker lap of P10 150. So Robbie Kelly will have to find 4 seconds if they want pole position.
And they'll have to find 4 seconds, and I guarantee you they will find them. Again, like you said, they try to get into qualifying later in the session, so I don't foresee them staying down that far down for long. Now heading toward the hairpin. Nice and easy exit, so I see this going well, but
down already.
Yeah, it's 2 seconds down, but it is not a purple, so if this keeps up, unless Sector 2 is a purple lap, this could put them at the very least in the top 5.
Yeah, Robert Kelly pushing like crazy right now, I imagine, just trying to get a lap time that will top pole position. At the moment, it's looking a little bit smooth, but I'm not but we're still going through Sector 2, that's a little bit of a gain on Sector 2. It's still 2 seconds down the road, so not much improvement in Sector 2, but can they find the lap time here in Sector 3? This is pretty much the make or break section. You got that long right-hander sweeping sunset corner that just undulates under you. It just tests your strength. It tests your arms as you steer right and fight against those bumps, trying to respect them as well. And Robbie Kelly doing well, going as wide as they can. What will it be for the number 25 Tigan car?
It's a purple Sector 3, but it's not enough. It's only going to put them in P3, only about a second down from Rafael Rodriguez. And again, that could change very quickly as they head down toward the main sector. We can see another one. This is going to be Eduardo Alvarez. They're in a purple sector, Sector 1, and a purple Sector 2. Is it going to be enough? No.
Not quite.
It's not. They lost. Yeah, not quite. They actually lost time in Sector 2 and 3. It looks like they just had maybe like a rough rough time going in the middle sector. But they were faster in, they were the fastest in Sector 1, so something must have happened. As we follow along now with Alexander Vanderwood heading down the main straight, this will be a, I believe this will be an outlap because our timing is not showing anything at the moment. So I believe this will be not a fresh lap, but an out lap, because you can see that they're kind of trying to, maybe they made adjustments or something, I don't know. But now heading toward the bridge and then down the back straight, we'll see where this goes.
At the moment, Rafael Rodriguez with a 1 second pole position gap. That is a huge margin for anyone to beat. KD Timberfox, I believe they're going on an out lap as well. As you can see, the sector times not yet ranking up, but Timberfox finding themselves in P8, which is a pretty decent position, so I think she looks like she's clawing for more.
Yeah, definitely a pretty decent spot. As we see RK heading down the main straight. Is this going to be enough? There was a purple Sector 1, but an improvement in Sector 2 and 3. It's going to put them in P2, only 2/10 down from Rafael Rodriguez. This could be it. Rafael needs to, RK is going to need to push hard, and right now I bet you Rafael is sweating bullets, because all Rafael needs is that one good lap, and then they will be on their tail. And again, this is just like Alvarez. Good Sector 1, purple Sector 1, but bad Sector 2. Is it going to be an improvement Sector 3? No, it is not. That is not good. You can see Rafael Rodriguez pulling it in. I think they're done.
I think Rodriguez might be going for another fuel load. It's still close to call. I mean, at this point, it could be basically wrapped up, but who knows. But anyways, 8 minutes remaining into the session, and Robbie Kelly still not yet finding an answer to Rafael Rodriguez's lap time. They are 2/10 off, so they just need to find that crucial area, and I don't think it's this lap, because their Sector 1 is 2 seconds. They could be warming up for another run at it. And speaking of, Eduardo Alvarez, the other driver who's within a second off of Rodriguez, they've recently set a lap time that's 7/10 down on Rodriguez, but at the moment it's Rodriguez on pole with a pretty close margin, and they did wrap up their... No, speak of devil, I think Rodriguez is going for another run. I think this might be a fresh set. It's going to be a risky gamble if it's a fresh set of tires, because that will pay heavily in the race if it gets damaged or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Rafael Rodriguez taking that gamble, I think, to see if maybe they could gain those 2/10. I remember talking with him and him saying, "Oh, his ref, that was RK going very wide out of turn 1." That is very scary, but that's going to invalidate that time. Absolutely. They were in the grass. I mean, hopefully it didn't cause their tires to get any damage, but that's very, very bad for RK. They need, they still need 2/10. It's not unheard of. They could do it unless Rafael Rodriguez is able to answer. Who knows? You can see that, you know, at this point they're just trying to cool down their tires. They go a little bit wide going out of the hairpin, and look who's right behind them. That's going to be Rafael Rodriguez, and unfortunately for RK, their lap is invalidated, so they will need to back off once Rafael gets to them, and that is a no ifs, ands, or buts. They cannot ruin their lap. So as we see Eduardo Alvarez coming into the pits, again, remember, this is not, you might be wondering why this is in a different pit stop. I'm not entirely sure. I'm guessing this is how ELMS does it, but under normal circumstances.
Of it. Yeah. Actually, I think WEC once raced in Sebring. It's the 1,000 miles of Sebring. I forgot what year that was, but that was pretty much the debut year of the Ferrari 499P, and WEC used that pit format because WEC and IMSA were actually hosting the Sebring race weekends at the same weekend. So I don't know who went first, but they were, I mean, with IMSA in the paddock, I'm not sure if that pit lane could be used, so they had to resort to that alternative pit lane.
That's probably why, but we are now following on with Daniel Taverner. Or Dan Taverner, they are on an improvement, or this will be an outlap. It's not going to be an improvement. They are 1/10 off their personal best, but you know, it's early on. We'll see how this goes. Just kind of keeping an eye on things. I don't really see anything out of the ordinary at the moment. Looks like, yeah, I'm just taking a look. It doesn't look like anything has really shifted yet. We'll wait and see as we follow along with Daniel Taverner. They're heading down into Sector 3. They did improve in Sector 2, so that's going to be good for them. Let's see if they can improve in the final sector.
Yeah, at the moment, I think Robbie Kelly decided that enough was enough and decided to wrap the qualifying session. That's what I believe is happening right now. But Dan Taverner here with a good Sector 2 time. Is it enough? Will they get enough more time at Sector 3?
No!
And the bumps bite back, and that is damage to the rear end.
That's not only damage to them, that's damage to their tires. Remember, they don't have replacements. Those tires will have flat spots, so they won't be able to use them again. I think their qualifying session is going to be done for this one.
I think it's wise to wrap up the session here and just focus on survival, because I think you're in a tough spot if those tires get damaged in the race. Because if your clean set gets damaged in the race, I mean that spare set is kind of your lifesaver, your buffer to prevent any tire run. But now those tires are, I mean, that was a huge win. That was flat spot on all corners with the tires. So I think it's going to be a really tough time if Daniel Taverner would consider using those tires.
Well, I will say this: if they do use them in the race, it will not be that much of an issue. They will be obviously lower, but they will not have flat spots. They do actually, they do reset if they have flat spots on them. So they will at least not be out of a set of tires, but they will definitely be a far weaker set of tires.
I mean, yeah, you've driven here before, so I'll trust you on that. As you see,
no, I've just had flat spots during qualifying before. It's not fun.
Yep. Anyways, that's Rafael Rodriguez with a purple Sector 1 looking to improve on their lap time. They don't have to, because their only threat is Eduardo Alvarez with 7/10 up, but just for safety precaution, Eduardo Alvarez on another charge here in qualifying. Purple Sector 1. What will be for Sector 2?
It's a bad Sector 2, though. This Sector 2 is... This will be big, but you can see that there's no purple sector for Alvarez either, so they could at the very least put Robbie Kelly in danger. Here they go, coming out of the final quarter. Is it going to be an improvement? I don't know. Will it be? No, it will not.
Close but not quite. Eduardo Alvarez doesn't have an answer just yet. for Robbie Kelly's lap time. Meanwhile, Rafael Rodriguez, this will be the make or break. Sector 3, really riding the inside and going as wide as they can, really close to the wall. What will it be for Rafael Rodriguez? It's going to be... I think the lap got I think that lap got
it got invalidated at the last corner. Oh no!
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez
I think they went just a little bit too wide.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, track limits are pretty strict as the game servers have said it, but Rafael Rodriguez not giving up just yet, going for another run to try and extend their pole position, and Eduardo Alvarez looking to challenge Rodriguez and try to find an answer for the drivers ahead of them.
Absolutely, as we follow along now with Eduardo Alvarez, we've got 1 minute left. So this will be their last lap. Unless they can get to the start-finish line before the timer runs out, they may have one more shot. But, you know... Oh!
That's
Rafael Rodriguez!
I think that's game over for Rodriguez. It's going to be on Alvarez. But...
I wonder what happened there. Well, we're trying to figure that out. Here we go. This is coming down the backstretch toward the hairpin.
Oh, just spinning on entry.
Yeah, just spinning on it. I think they had a lockup in the rears and it just sent them around. This was something that they've had happen to them before. Is it again? It happens.
Spinner.
That's Katie. Sunset claims yet another victim in the same exact spot. Daniel Taverner. They looked like they were on a flyer too. They were really pushing that car. But at the end of the day, I think, is this the first time? I believe so. This will be the first time Rafael Rodriguez takes pole.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez with a pole position that was very tough to find because Robbie Kelly and Alvarez were trying to get their lap times out, but for now, it's Rodriguez ahead on pole position. But I mean, Robbie Kelly, despite not having a lot of pole positions, always had found a way to win the race. But it's going to be quite a challenge here at Sebring.
Yeah, it will definitely be a bit of a challenge here. And I will say this: I did have a chat with Rafael not long after. This is a track they were the most excited about. It's a track that they really enjoy, so it would not be so far out there as to say that Rafael will get that win here today. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, the drivers are starting to grid up at the moment, and we're getting and let's wait a bit as this grid gets sorted and the server shows us this grid. But at the moment, yes, as we see, the cars already starting to come out. That is that is going to be Rafael Rodriguez on pole position, starting alongside Robbie Kelly, your two title contenders. And there's Eduardo Alvarez and Adrian Newt right behind with Alexander Van der Wood, Fabio Saul, and P7 you have Jake Jensen with Rupi Rotiainen. And rounding off your top 10, you have Katie Timberfox and Sierra Thomas. P11 you have Dan Taberner starting alongside Blade Wolf Kagekio. P13 you have Danielle Falzetta and I feel like Danielle Falzetta is our last starter because the rest were pretty much signups that didn't show up. And as you see Robbie Kelly just waiting on the grid, starting alongside Rafael Rodriguez, it's your usual story here. Rafael Rodriguez on pole position, but Robbie Kelly could put up quite a challenge.
It'll be interesting going into turn one. Rafael Rodriguez will have the advantage going into turn one. They will be on the inside. While they are on the outside on Sunset, they will have the inside going into turn one, so they will have the advantage. However, that doesn't mean that RK can't just absolutely send it going into turn one, but that's going to be a big risk.
I do want to point out, I think Robbie Kelly just has to drive and finish this race in the points to basically secure the championship. But Rafael Rodriguez still. I feel like they still feel that pressure of Robbie Kelly right alongside it. I mean, they've been starting on similar pace. They've been fighting out at it, and Rafael Rodriguez, while they couldn't get close, they were the closest among the grid to Robbie Kelly, and I feel like that's a huge accomplishment in its own right.
Yeah, absolutely. They are now heading down towards sunset, and this will be very interesting. You can see that Daniel Fateza actually started slow. They actually gave themselves a lot of breathing room. That may be a good thing or a bad thing. We'll have to wait and see. As we follow along now with Rafael Rodriguez as we head down toward the start-finish line.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez and Robbie Kelly, your title contenders, well, are once again side to side, waiting for that green flag to wave as these drivers get ready for one more race. And it's green flag, and it's away we go. It's Rafael Rodriguez with a pretty decent start. They get the advantage coming into turn one, but Robbie Kelly has the outside line. Robbie Kelly soaring around the outside to steal the lead in turn one, and there's contact in the back.
It's Blade Wolf, and I believe that's one other. Yeah, that's I believe that's Sierra, Thomas, and Katie.
Yeah, Thomas and Timber Fox.
Wow, there was multiple involved. I think there was also Daniel Falteza. I think. I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
I can't tell.
I think Falzetta got through. But if you look at the replay here, let's see what happened.
This will be. I think we
quite on time.
Yeah, I think we missed it just barely, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, we will not see what happened, but it looked like it was just like somebody just got loose going out of the corner. You can see, oh no, I just noticed that Rafael Rodriguez is way down the order. I wonder what happened.
Yeah, Rodriguez down in PA, not the start they wanted, and at the moment they're being swallowed up by the midfield. But Robbie Kelly, what a brave move on the outside, especially in a track like Sebring. Now that takes a lot of guts to do, and there's Adrian Newt right behind on a P2 position, making it a Tig Gang 1-2, but Eduardo Alvarez is mounting up a huge challenge to Adrian Newt on the rear end, trying to get past, but at the moment I think it's Robbie Kelly and Adrian Newt taking advantage of that hectic race start.
Yeah, absolutely. As we can follow along now with P3 as they head down the main straight for the first lap. Looks like Robbie Kelly has gotten a fairly big gap as we head now toward turn one, and we'll just have to wait and see what goes on here as we see a little bit of a lockup. I believe that's from I can't really. It's Ruby, or I believe it's Raitanen. I think. My finish is bad. My finish is bad. Okay.
That is understandable, but Ruby Raitanen. But that is Rafael Rodriguez making up another position, slowly climbing their way back on top. It's a little bit of lockup, but it shouldn't harm too much, and that's Rafael Rodriguez up one place on their charge back to the top of the grid.
All right, we're gonna see again if we can get this lap one incident. This will be the start. Here we go during the turn one. You can see Daniel Falteza holding the line on the inside.
I think it started between Thomas and Timber Fox. I mean, they were spinning right before that happened, and
yeah, I think so. And I think Falteza was able to avoid it. They were on the inside and just kind of cruised through it. Then who was the other car? I can't really see who it was. As we see, Blade is in the pits. I don't know if they've retired or are trying to get their car fixed because they had some pretty heavy damage. We can see Katie Timberfox is already out and going. That was just so unfortunate.
Yeah, especially.
Oh, that's a spin!
An unlucky passer. That's Eduardo Alvarez with a spin on the final corner. Thankfully, missing the tire bearers, unlike Timber Fox and Taverner during qualifying, just trying to find their way to point the right way around. That was a pretty creative way of going around the racetrack. Classic Kyle Busch stuff. Rest in peace.
Yeah, classic move there, as unfortunately that's going to be Alvarez in a very, very bad spot. I don't know what, it almost looks like they just, the bouncy road strikes to their sunset strikes again, but now we can see Eduardo Alvarez is going to have a lot to make up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, these
Speaking of making up,
let's just see Ravenloft defending against Eduardo Alvarez.
Rafael Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez. I keep getting my names mixed up. But Ravenloft putting up an excellent defense, but Rodriguez going down the inside. Could this move be done? Ravenloft manages to hold on the outside and manage to stay ahead, but for how long? Because Rafael Rodriguez really trying to find a way around this pink 935 TIG Gang race LMP2 car. Ravenloft trying to defend, but Rodriguez, they have the pace. It's just a matter of trying to find the advantage, trying to find the track position to get them past Ravenloft. They're really close. They're almost touching bumper to bumper, almost bump drafting, but Rodriguez on the slipstream. I'm not sure if it's gonna be diving. I mean,
there's no way he does it through sunset. There's no way he does it through sunset.
That was an attempt to sunset, but I think Rodriguez thought better of it, and just trying to stay behind, trying to find a cleaner window.
Absolutely tried, did not want to risk it. That was very, very nerve-wracking, as we see that Rafael is once again catching up to that TIG Gang racing car. They're going to try again, going into turn 3. They're right on the bumper once again. They're just trying so hard, but they can't get by. This LMP2 car is doing everything it can to keep Rafael Rodriguez at bay, and so far they've been doing a great job at doing that.
Yeah, Ravenloft putting up an excellent defense. As
but
Jake
that might not help.
Yeah, Jake Jensen having a little bit of a view there, just munching away at their popcorn as these two battle it out. Ravenloft pulling up an excellent defensive masterclass as they both tried to stay within the toe of Fabio Sal. Now, I think Fabio Sal's toe is helping Ravenloft just a little bit to stay ahead of Rodriguez, because that slipstream is, well, it's not really, you don't really feel it that much in LMP2 cars. It could matter by the minuscule moments, but here's looking back at Rodriguez's moment here in lap 1 on why they dropped back down for the recovery.
So here we go, heading into turn, this is I believe 3, they just go wide. They just go wide. Oh, and I was right. I was looking at that and I wanted to bring that up. I thought there was damage on that car. There was. They made light contact with the tire barrier. Oh no.
Yeah, that's not gonna do well for the LMP2 car, but I think it's mostly intact as Rodriguez on the inside of Sunset, getting past Ravenloft. That's one place up for Rodriguez. They're up to P5, and now they have Fabio Sal ahead to try and claw back P4.
Yeah, they've still got a ways to go though. Robbie Kelly only 4 seconds ahead of Adrian Newt, and Rodriguez is a ways back. It looks like it's going to be almost want to say 15 seconds behind the leader, so they've got a long way to go, but this is still a very long race. It hasn't even hit the hour mark yet. So anything can happen as we see this battle. I believe this will be for P3 as we see. Is that a car in the grass?
I think
it is.
Tavener
It's Tavener. What happened there?
Yeah, that rear wing is gone, and I think they're wrapping up for the day. I think that's game over for Tavener. They were somewhere within the first. Oh, that is a tail snap.
Oh.
That's just game over for that car, unfortunately.
Yeah, and there was nothing he could do. It was just a bit of snap oversteer going out of the corner. There was nothing he could do. Super unfortunate for Daniel Taberner. As we follow along, that's Fabian Sol behind Rafael Rodriguez. Somehow Rafael Rodriguez was able to get ahead of Fabian Sol. I don't know what happened, but now they are ahead, and now they've got an open field to go after the top three.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez finding their way almost back in the podium places, but Rodriguez has to put some stonking but safe lap times if they want to get close to Vanderwood and Adrian Newt, because that is not a big mountain to climb, but 2 seconds, that's quite a challenge.
Yeah, 2 seconds will be a bit of a challenge, but if this was at the tail end, I'd say it'd be a bit hard. But remember, that's 2 seconds between an hour and 10 minutes. That is not unheard of, especially with the pace that Rafael Rodriguez has. So long as they don't run into problems with finding the other TIG gang cars, they could go after Robbie. It may just depend on pit strategy at this point.
Yeah, as we look at the replay, looking back into Rafael Rodriguez, who I think already done the pass.
Yeah, I think they had already done the pass. At this point, they're ahead of Sol.
It could be
Stand by.
dive.
We are checking. We are checking. We are trying to find it.
Well,
Yeah, so-
anyways, yeah, Rafael Rodriguez on their challenge now. They're actually almost there. They're almost closing 2 seconds. It's almost becoming a 1.9 second gap. But I think Rafael Rodriguez, knowing their initial position and their incident on the opening lap, just trying to play it safe, I reckon. Just keeping the car steady, keeping the car stable. And
Oh, that's somebody wide. That's Katie.
that was Katie. I think Katie giving way to the front runners, probably for blue flags or something. But Katie taking it easily. I wonder what happened. It could be an issue because I think they're pulling off.
Yeah, they're pulling off, heading into the pit lane as we follow along. Now with Katie, as they come into the pits, I think they'll be either getting repairs or they may be retiring the car. We'll have to wait and see. As I'm keeping an eye also on the gap between Rafael Rodriguez and Vanderwood. And look at that, they gained 5 tenths out of nowhere. They're 7 tenths at this point. It's almost a second. It's almost down to a second. 1.3. Rafael is on an absolute charge here.
Yeah, I said stonking but safe, and stonking but safe it is. But stonking it is, but is it safe? Rafael Rodriguez looking to be pushing really hard. They're breaking the 1 second boundary. They're almost within an opportunity pounce. Now Alexander Vanderwood and Adrian Newt are sitting ducks in this situation.
They probably are now sweating bullets because they've got a charging CK9 driver right behind them. They are clearly the faster driver. They managed to make 2 seconds and not even half a lap. That's insane. As we can see, Vanderwood is right on the bumper of Adrian Newt. That's probably not the wisest thing. You can see they're going on the outside, taking a look. Is it going to be a pass? No, it's not. They're just sitting on the bumper of Adrian Newt. It could be anyone's game as we follow along inside. Alexander Vanderwood heading down towards 12 and 13 into Sector 3. You can see that Adrian Newt goes wide. He goes very wide.
I think
was...
Yeah, Newt saved it, but unfortunately they are out of podium position as Rafael Rodriguez says thank you very much and takes that freebie. And now they only have Alexander Vanderwood to pass to make themselves into P2, because at the moment Robbie Kelly is quite a long way away.
Yeah, they have a 8 second lead of Vanderwood. That's so unfortunate. RK just had a open track at this point. And now Rafael Rodriguez is going to have to do everything they can to try to make it. You can see, again, it's just like in qualifying, purple Sector 1, but they just don't have the pace in Sector 2 and 3, but that also just could be because they were dealing with the two TIG gang cars ahead of them. So we'll just have to wait and see as he catches up to Alexander Vanderwood down into turn 3, 4, and 5. You can see right now following along behind on board with Alexander Vanderwood, with Rafael Rodriguez right on his tail. You can see, look at how close he gets going into the hairpin. They are just gaining so much time. And this is, I'd like to point out, again, This is with a slightly damaged car, and they are just absolutely charging at this point.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez on a mad charge right now, trying to get past Alexander Van Wood and just trying
that's
to go,
Adrian
and that's
wide.
Nick going wide.
That's,
Yeah, that's
Adrian
Nico
going very wide. They hit the,
into the
barrier,
barriers.
I think. Yeah, I think they made it all the way to the barriers. I think they have damage.
Yeah, Adrian Newt getting back on track. We are looking at a replay on what happened.
Was it a
I think
lockup?
It's most definitely a lockup. That was really wide and.
No, it's. If you
that's
notice,
close.
they went a little.
Newt saved it.
Yeah, Newt saved it, but the thing that caused it was they went a little bit wide, and they got their tire into the grass right. I think lost them all that braking momentum. So yeah, all that traction, it caused them to slide into the grass. That's super unfortunate.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez still behind Alexander Vanderwood, waiting to pounce. Vanderwood trying to find
Look at
line.
how
That's a
tight
little bit
Rafael
loose
is in
around
that
Sunset.
corner.
Rafael Rodriguez getting much closer as Vanderwood got a bit loose at the Sunset corner. Could they be lining up for a move into turns 1 or 2? But Rodriguez looking much tighter into turn 1, trying to use more of the track than Vanderwood and trying to get it past as much as he can. But Vanderwood putting up a pretty decent defense, putting their car in all the right places and not letting Rodriguez have a sniff, but that might be all over right now because Rodriguez has a big opportunity coming into the hairpin. It's going to be a dive around the outside. It's a late lunge coming around the outside. Could Rafael Rodriguez get past Vanderwood? Not quite.
Very, very close. That was a big risk, but unfortunately Vanderwood had the better line going out of the hairpin. It was very, very close, but there was nothing Rafael could do. It got very close. There's contact!
There's contact! Rafael Rodriguez pointing the wrong way.
Oh, they were able to get it in the right way, but I think they stalled. Yep, there they go. They got the car going again. Oh no, I think they were just a little bit too close. Yeah, we're gonna get a different angle, but that's not gonna be good for Rafael Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez has to do it all over again. Just got a little bit too confident in trying to get past Vanderwood, and unfortunately, they got caught up by the pace difference and just made contact.
Yeah, but you can see that Rafael has got the pace even with that car, but unfortunately now it's going to be even more damage depending on how bad he hit them. That could be disastrous for Rafael Rodriguez at this point, because there's just nothing he could do.
Yeah, meanwhile, Robbie Kelly back in another Sunday drive, you know, just going on it, just driving, doing the race, and that's pretty much what you want to do. I mean, he was invincible going throughout the campaign and has won when he showed up, and Robbie Kelly, as it stands, looking to be the champion guaranteed for the prototype challenge now. That is just an excellent drive from the number 25.
You can see though they went a little bit wide going out of the hairpin, but it's not really going to matter too much. They like you said, they have an 8.5 second gap to Vanderwood, and with Rafael Rodriguez again with that incident, this is just going to be, it's probably a heartbreaker for Rafael, because he knows he has the pace. He knows he could do it, but the problem was he was just stuck behind Vanderwood, and it's just super unfortunate.
Yeah, at the moment, I think Rodriguez is just trying to keep trying to regain what composure again, and just focusing on clawing back once more. But at the moment, this gives Fabio Sol a sneaky podium. Now Fabio Sol has been someone who's been very quiet, qualifying. Oh, speak of the devil!
Oh no, they had a spin going out of turn 13. That's so unfortunate, and I mean, it's good news for Rafael Rodriguez. That's one less car he has to pass, but still, that is just so unfortunate. It looks like the rear just lost traction, and he was just a passenger at that point.
I think I'm gonna shut up and not talk about the riders at this point. Anyways, yeah, Rafael Rodriguez on a charge once again. That unfortunate spin that totally wasn't caused by me. giving Rodriguez another position, and now they are looking at deja vu once again, because now they're having to get past Rupi Rotsiainen.
Yeah, they've done it before. I'm sure they can do it again. Here we go, heading into turn 2 and 3. You can see that they definitely have the pace difference. They're only a second and a half behind Raikkonen, and all it will take is for Raikkonen to make a mistake, and it'll be all over. As we see, that's Eduardo Alvarez coming into the pits.
That's pretty early.
It is early. I mean, we're not even at the hour mark, and they missed their box. That's even worse.
I have a feeling it could be damage repair, or it could be.
Yeah, I'd say it is. Look at the front. Look at the front right. It's pretty dinged up. Did they have an incident?
I'm not sure, but Alvarez resorting to coming to pit lane, so it must be that bad, or I think it's just Alvarez just putting on a better set of boots, as we see Jake Jensen going on in P7 here.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Jake Jensen in P7, just kind of running a lonely race at this point. And at the moment as well, Adrian Newt also kind of in no man's land, as now we could see that we're heading down the main straight, or the secondary main straight, as we can see Jensen catching up to Eduardo Alvarez. They'll be a lap down. That's so unfortunate. I wonder if they just had major damage and they just couldn't deal with it, because you can see they're now pushing pretty freaking hard. So we'll just have to wait and see as we follow along now with Adrian Newton 8th. But I don't know if I mean, that's a long gap to make up.
Yeah, the front end does look a bit cleaner, so a part of me does think Alvarez definitely went for repairs, but here we go. Rafael Rodriguez with deja vu once again with Rupi Rautiainen, looking at what I believe is the outside line of this
will be the
hairpin.
outside line. Here we go, going in the hairpin.
A little bit too tight on the inside. Rodriguez, I mean, going around the outside and getting this move done. Wow.
Nice and clean out of the hairpin. There was really nothing Raikkonen could do. He got right next to them. Going into the corner, there was nowhere for Raikkonen to go. It unfortunately compromised their corner exit, and Rafael Rodriguez was able to sail right by. But now they have to gain 7 seconds to catch up to Alexander Van der Wood. That's going to be a very tall ask, and that's just for P2.
Rautiainen is now past, but what about Alexander Van der Wood? And that is, as you said, going to be a really tough ask, because 7 seconds compared to the previous gap they had to Van der Wood, that's a huge mountain to climb, especially with just about 58 minutes remaining. But at the moment, anything could happen, and I think the best course for Rodriguez is to just hit their marks, just keep that car steady, and just, of course, respect the bumps.
Respect the bumps, keep it clean, and I'm sure they'll gain a lot of time. Remember, they gained 2 seconds in almost half the lap. It's not unheard of, but Rafael Rodriguez didn't have a damaged car back, a heavily damaged car back then. So we'll just have to wait and see, as now Van der Wood just kind of cruising at this point. He's not under threat yet, but you can see, I'm looking at the deltas, look at how fast Rafael is catching up. The cap's already down to 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think Rodriguez is not heeding my advice. They are going on a charge right now, but I think that's what Rodriguez is doing. He's just really quick in doing it, and compared to Van der Wood, he's just clawing time chunk by chunk.
Absolutely, as they head down out of turn 13. But the other thing I want to point out is that, again, we've had people just get random understeer in various parts. Anything could happen because the track is just so unstable, and it's been catching a lot of drivers out of position, as Van der Wood keeps it nice and clean going out of the corner and down the Olsen straight. As we see, that's trouble. That's Jake Jensen wide.
it could be. It's just a little bit of spin, but Jake Jensen back on their merry way. Let's look at the replay, see what happened. Oh, that was. Oh,
Wait.
what?
Huh?
I guess it was net. I'm not sure. I guess it was network.
I don't know what happened there. They just got randomly sent to the Shadow Realm and then yeeted out again. I don't know.
Yeah, we.
I mean,
just
their
saw
car doesn't
someone
look damaged, so I don't think they hit the wall. I think they just spun.
We just saw someone travel through the fourth dimension. What year are we in? Jake Jensen just finding that technology out of nowhere, but at the moment they're still P7, so that fourth dimension technology not working out just yet.
Not yet, but here we go. This is Rafael Rodriguez on that charge again. You can see that they're gaining. But right now they're hovering at 6 seconds. They haven't really been gaining a lot of time, but compared to Alexander van der Wood, they've been almost a second faster. Or no, I'm sorry. They've been half a second faster. I'm sorry, my math is bad.
I'm currently looking throughout the time, and Van der Wood's last lap was on 48.3, and Rodriguez's last lap was at 47.9. So definitely the pace is definitely on Rodriguez's side. It's just a matter of keeping that pace consistent and just trying to claw lap time bit by bit off of Van der Wood.
Yeah, absolutely. This will be the moment as we see Rafael go very wide going out of the Le Mans, and that is going to cost them a little bit of time, but they were able to save it as they head down toward Sunset. You can see, like look at the front left, you can see that the damage from that incident earlier is clearly there. So they're definitely going to be fighting something at least.
Yeah, Rodriguez just trying to make the most out of a pretty chipped LMP2 car. That's the best I can explain it. But Van der Wood's still on their drive. They're just hitting their marks, which is what you really want to do here in Sebring. You don't want to get into trouble here, and that's just basically it. But it might not be enough when it comes to defending against Rafael Rodriguez, because they are on a charge. They are currently 5 seconds down the road, nearly.
Yeah, you can see that they've gained almost a second from that last time we looked, and I would say eventually they will be catching up. I would think that maybe Rodriguez may go for an early stop to try to get some fresh tires and to really push. Maybe they can go for the undercut against Van der Wood, but it is still a pretty big gap, so we'll just have to wait and see.
I feel like with the race time in mind, I think Van der Wood is focused on conserving their tires rather than fighting off Rodriguez, which is the ideal strategy. But at the moment, I think regardless if Van der Wood pushes or not, they're a sitting duck to Rafael Rodriguez. But a decent race finish is what I believe Alexander Van der Wood would want. And if all goes well, they could be in the top 3. Could be, knock on wood.
We'll have to wait and see. Right now, it's really anyone's, either of their games. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be catching up to RK at any point. They've now increased the gap to over 11 seconds, so that's kind of like this is RK's race at this point. As we follow along now with Fabio Sol, they're kind of just out in no man's land at this point. I'm noticing that a lot of drivers have retired. I think the only ones that are all the drivers that are on track are a fair ways apart, unfortunately, as we see Rafael Rodriguez heading out of the hairpin. They've been on a charge, but it's going to be a ways until they catch up.
Yeah, unfortunately, at the moment, it looks like we only have 8 drivers who are out there, but Alvarez in the pits, but still in the standings. But I don't think Alvarez is out on track just yet, because
I think he just came out. I could see on the map that somebody just came out of the pit lane. Yeah, it
that's
was Alvarez.
So we do have
Yeah, it was
nine
Alvarez.
drivers out. 9 drivers out on track, and it's not much, but I feel like with this heat wave, I don't blame these guys. A lot of these drivers are just not having a good time in this summer heat. And now a lot of us being based in Europe, and that's just not gonna help.
Yeah, no, these people are probably sweating buckets, and that's
And that's a
trouble
spin.
again. That's Jake Jensen again. That's not going to be healthy for him, and that is. I don't know where that is. I can't tell. It's
I
like the
better not see
hairpin,
any
maybe.
fourth dimension things. I better not see.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we yeet into the fourth dimension again. This is coming out of hairpin.
Yeah, I think
nope, they
that's
just
a
went
little bit
wide.
too wide. And
Yeah,
just-
going wide out of the hairpin. That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, Jake Jensen.
But it didn't cost him
Jake
any
Jensen.
time. The closest person is Eduardo Alvarez, and they're over.
That's Vanderwood.
Is that Vanderwood? Yeah,
I
that's.
think that's going a
Yeah, I
little
don't-
bit wide, but I think Vanderwood going a little bit wide. But other than that, not much harm done. I think. But here we go.
Here we go, coming out of turn. This is turn 3.
Oh,
Oh,
what a save!
beautiful save. Cost him a lot of time, but a beautiful save. They had what looks like what everybody else is suffering from in these cars. A little bit of snap oversteer going into the corner, and it caused them to almost spin. That would have been horrific had that had happened. But this is the door that Rafael Rodriguez has been wanting. The gap's now down to 4 seconds.
Yeah, Alexander Vanderwood, despite that little slip up, is still remaining ahead, but Rodriguez now 3.9 seconds, slowly inching down on that gap to Vanderwood, and just keeping their marks, just keeping that car pointing the right way around. But at the moment, I think Vanderwood will have a little bit of trouble within, I would say, the next 3 to 5 laps.
I'd say within the next 3 or 4 laps, Rodriguez will catch up unless they box or something else. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to do it. I swear to God, if it happens, I'm going to lose my mind and cry probably. As we follow along now with Vanderwood, you can see that Rodriguez is right there in their sight. Anything could happen, and it's anyone's game. I'm looking at the time left, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, is this the time to think about boxing, to go for the undercut or something like that, and go from there? As we follow along now, now we're heading out of the hairpin. It looks like, again, the gap's closing, but it's not as big as it was the last time. I mean, Rodriguez has been taking chunks out, but it's not been by much, maybe about 2 or 3 tenths a lap. So they still got a fair ways to go at this point.
Yeah, I think Rodriguez is being a little more patient, because I believe this is going to be really crucial to get that strategy right and just keep driving their race, because I feel like the pit window, as you said, it's coming close. We are almost at the halfway mark by 7 minutes, so I think these drivers are just getting a groove and just sticking to it while they wait for their pit stops.
Yeah, we're at that point where people are probably thinking of pit stops, and now we can, we're following on. This is with Raitanen, and heading down out of Sunset. Looking behind them, that's Fabio Sol, but they're 2 seconds behind him. This could be a battle for fourth. I'd say the same thing with Rodriguez. It could be battle within the next few laps.
Fabio Sol just slowly inching, just similar story to Rodriguez and Alexander Vanderwood. And speaking of, I think Rodriguez with a 2.8 second gap is just, I mean, it's a little bit closer, but I'm not sure. I think Rodriguez really locked in on just keeping their marks.
Yeah, they are. I mean, look at the gap now. It's under 3 seconds. They are getting close to striking distance between them and Alexander Vanderwood. So this could turn very interesting very quickly. We'll just have to wait and see. Heading now, following along this little mini battle between Fabio Sol and Raitanen how you say Rupi Raitanen? I'm bad with names.
Rupi Raitanen.
Yeah, okay, that. Okay, that. Allow my New England accent to attempt to say that.
Anyways, yeah, Rupi Raitanen going to have to defend to Fabio Sol as well. 45 minutes remaining, and at the moment, I'm sorry, there's not much to talk about at the moment. But these races, I think they're just waiting their time. And as I say that, Rupi Raitanen almost hits the wall. Of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah, every time you say something like that, something happens. As now, Fabio Sol has a better chance and has increased the gap to Rafael Rodriguez. And that almost could have ended in tragedy. They were nanometers away from clipping that wall.
Yeah, that was just a little bit too close for Rupi Raitanen, but Fabio Sol, that's just gonna pay more dividends to Fabio Sol, who is getting a little bit closer and just trying to claw lap time after lap time. Now, I think at this point, I think the strategy, the pit stops are on everyone's mind, just to get their strategy well formed and just keep on their marks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm seeing two drivers, Raitanen and Sol. They've both. It says VS, and I'm new to this. I think this means that they've.
I think that's head to head. Yeah.
Oh, it's versus. Okay. I'm a little bit new to this, so you'll have to forgive me. This is going to turn very interesting fairly quickly. It looks like they're good. Oh, I thought they were loose for a second, but I think that was a network thing. But they were able to save it. Now heading down toward down the straight. Let's see where they come out of. Looks like they're going to head. Looks like they're gaining slowly, but I mean it's still 2 seconds, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit cool. I'm just knock on wood. It's a little bit quiet right now. Fabio Sol just slowly making progress. So is Rafael Rodriguez.
Stop doing that.
Now,
Every time you do that, something happens. Every time you do that, something happens. And what do you know it? Something is happening. This is Vanderwood again getting 2/10 of time being knocked out of his time between him and Rafael Rodriguez. They are so close within to get that draft. But this is also kind of an awkward spot because they're also going to have to deal with the dirty air for a little bit as they head down the hairpin, and you can see they're getting just closer and closer and closer. This could be anyone's race at this point.
Yeah, Rafael Rodriguez biding their time right behind Alexander Vanderwood, slowly inching that gap. That's now 1.5, so they're almost within striking range, as I would love to say. But at the moment, Vanderwood putting on a solid effort to just try and run away from Rafael Rodriguez. That is a crazy K9 car on their rear mirrors, just slowly getting closer and closer. But Rodriguez now at a 1.3 second gap, just slowly inching that time. Now, Alexander Vanderwood has to think, do they jump the gun early or will they battle it out?
I almost want to say that they're going to maybe try to go for the undercut. There is in that window that they could, in theory, they could gamble, go for the tires and the fuel, get it done, and then go for the undercut, but we'll have to wait and see as we see that Vanderwood, again, the times are just getting chipped more and more away. Rafael Rodriguez only a second behind, and this could be it. We could be getting a round 2 already after, like, what was it, like 10 laps? I almost want to say.
I think it was like, I would say 20 to 20 minutes, because the last I remember, I think we were in the hour mark.
Maybe, but I mean, again, that was not a lot of time. And if they could do that, they could maybe catch up to RK. But that's if something horrendous happens to RK. But, you know, that probably won't happen.
Yeah, no matter what I say. Anyways, Rafael Rodriguez still within a 1.7 gap. I think that gap's just shrinking and growing like an accordion, but I think Rodriguez has consistently been around the 1.5 second mark. So Alexander Vanderwood keeping a healthy gap, all things considered. Now that's gonna give them a little bit more leeway when it comes to thinking of their strategy, whether to go for the undercut or just commit to going long.
They may try to go long. We'll have to wait and see. Because remember, these are not like ACC or iRacing pit stops. These do take a fair bit. They take about a minute, even with fuel and tires. So that's the point where you just take that risk and add on to the fact that you will also be dealing with cold tires, which is an LMP2 car probably one of the most painful things you could have, because the cars are just so unstable because there's just no grip in the tires until they warm up.
Yeah, putting on a new set of tires is going to be agony, because you're just gonna have to warm them up, but you do have the residual heat from your brakes. I think on paper, in real racing practice, that should be the case, but at the moment it's just a really tough decision. Would you sacrifice getting a few laps not at your optimal pace just to have better tires? I feel like everyone would love to make that sacrifice, because we've been racing here for, I would say, more than 40 minutes. Yeah,
and I just realized something. Rafael Rodriguez, out of nowhere, has lost a good chunk of time to Vanderwood. I don't know what happened, but something did, I think, because they've lost almost 7/10 from earlier. As we see, I believe that was... Oh!
that's
no!
pointing the wrong way around in the pit lane.
Oh no, did they get hit by that invisible barrier? I know there's a barrier over there in that pit lane, and that could have been a problem. We'll wait to see. We're trying to get the replay. Stand by. As you can see, they are coming. They are trying to, or they are now boxing, but now they're gonna have to deal with that damage from whatever happened. That's so unfortunate, and I suspected that. I actually didn't even. I should have brought this up earlier. There is a weird invisible barrier, like in the corner of the pit entry. What you would see, like, it's just like this tiny area, but if you hit it, it could really mess up your car.
That could be plausible. I don't know how LMU's going out right now, but
wait a minute.
Yeah, I think Rodriguez
wait a minute.
Not having the best.
Why what? Is Rafael Rodriguez is ahead of Vanderwood? Yeah.
I think
what
something
happened?
Must have happened to Vanderwood to that to happen.
Something happened, because Rafael Rodriguez is now ahead of Vanderwood. Stand by. We're trying to see what happened, because that is huge. Here we go. This is Vanderwood heading down.
It could be.
Is it over here? Oh my God!
There we go.
Oh wait, no. This is the previous replay. I'm sorry. Stand by. We're still looking.
Yep, we're looking. And we are checking. but Alexander Vanderwood coming to pit lane immediately to serve their pit stop, and I think that's the best option at this point because you already got Rodriguez fast. You might as well try and battle Adrian Newt because that is probably their next challenger when it comes to the podium position.
I'm noticing a lot of people are missing their marks. I'm guessing it's just like a really fine margin.
I think that's pretty much a normal LMU thing.
Yeah. As you can see that Vanderwood is in. Their jacks have not gone up. So
I think that's fueling.
Yeah, they're definitely getting fuel, which is of no surprise. The question then becomes, are they going to get tires? Will the jacks go up? You follow along now with RK. They are basically in their own little world on a little Sunday drive. As we see, Saul has left. Saul has passed Vanderwood. Something happened. Yeah, Saul came into the pits
early.
Yeah, he came into the pits after Vanderwood. So that is he has lost. Vanderwood has lost places to not only Newt but Saul.
I think
something absolutely happened.
I think Saul had a shorter pit stop time. Vanderwood just taking a little bit more time to get things. And oh, look, it's Robbie Kelly in the pit lane.
Robbie Kelly has come into the pits, and that is very interesting because that one means that Rafael Rodriguez is the current leader. But secondly, this also means that I don't know. Like, anything can happen. You can see RK has now been passed by Newt. That was a long pit stop, but then again, it could just be just how this thing is. Remember, Rodriguez and Newt have not stopped. Up, and the positions have been updated. They did pass. I guess it was just a glitch thing.
Yeah, Robbie Kelly managed to serve their pit stop. I hope that's business as usual pit stop. But Rafael Rodriguez, your current race leader, although they haven't served their pit stop yet, so we're waiting to see where they come out in this gaggle of cars, which isn't quite a gaggle at the moment because we only have, I believe, I'm not sure. I think it's only 8 drivers running at the moment.
Yeah, one has bowed out since our previous conversation about it. As we see, Newt has come into the pits, so I think they had boxed with Robbie Kelly.
And yeah, we have received confirmation that Eduardo Alvarez has become one of our retirees in this race, so they're out at the moment. But Adrian Newt here, coming off of P4, which is a pretty decent position, but at the moment these pit cycles are really going to shuffle the positions like a deck of cards, so it's going to be really hard to tell for now on the final positions.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where RK is in comparison to Rafael Rodriguez, and it's kind of hard to tell, to be completely honest, because RK, for whatever reason, is not showing times. As we see, Rafael Rodriguez has now started to lap some of the cars that have pitted. This will be another TIG gang driver. This will be Raitinen. Coming down toward the hairpin. Raitinen will have to make way, but we'll have to wait and see.
Oh,
that was a bit close there. I believe Raitinen needs to get out of the way at this point because, again, they are a blue flag. They are not in the lead, so I don't know why they are kind of ignoring blue flags at this point, unless they're trying to find a spot and they just can't.
I mean, it's here in Simufur. I don't think it's absolutely strict as you have in the likes of Formula 1. I think it's basically just a reminder that there's a faster car that's a lap ahead of you, and just as a precaution, you can do whatever you want with this information.
Oh, wait a
but-
minute.
But by all
That's
means,
our leader in the pits.
don't- Yeah, and as Rafael Rodriguez comes in, I do want to say,
No!
by all means, that's a
Oh,
speeding
no!
penalty.
Oh no! I saw it. I was like, I think they just got nailed with the speeding penalty. They were just coming in a little bit too hot. And unfortunately, that's going to cost them so much time. They had a minute gap. If they had just gone for fuel, they might have had a chance to keep up with RK. That is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
As we
I
see
think-
now that Rafael Rodriguez came in. Ooh!
Ooh,
Was that a snap from RK?
I'm not sure, but I guess it was just a little bit of hang or something. But I think, yeah, Robbie Kelly pointing the right way, so I won't be thinking much of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think much of that. We'll just have to wait and see. But they are coming down toward the main area, and this will be them retaking the lead unless... Yep, Rafael Rodriguez is out. Yeah, but it's... Oh, wait a minute. This could be close. This could be very close.
We got Rafael Rodriguez coming out the pit lane. I don't think they went for tires. They went for fuel only, but I don't think that matters because they do have that drive-through penalty. But I do want
No,
to see...
unfortunate. If they had, they would have kept the lead.
Yeah, I do want to see what Rafael Rodriguez can do or will do, whether they'll let Robbie Kelly by or try and put up a defensive drive just to shake Robbie Kelly up just a little bit. But
Yeah,
with
that strategy
driving
would have
penalty,
worked.
I think they're in a rock and a hard place.
They are, and that's just so unfortunate that they had that drive-through. And I was looking, I was like, I think he's coming in a little bit too high, and I'm like, oh no. They were just out of it, and that's so unfortunate that happened. And now they're coming into the hairpin. We're gonna have to wait and see what the time comparison is, but I assume that Rodriguez will be boxing fairly soon. Saul is 23 seconds behind. I think a drive-through will be about 30 seconds, I think. But you're not stopping, you're just driving through. So we'll just have to wait and see as we heading down toward the pit lane. Will Rodriguez either go in now or will they go in a couple laps to try to build that gap? Here we go. Yeah, they're gonna come in and serve it. Yeah, they're coming in to serve it immediately. Oh no!
Oh, that's a spin!
That's a spin!
That is not going to help Rodriguez's case at all, and I think that,
Yeah, they're just gonna go for another lap. That's so unfortunate. I think they were coming in to serve it and the car just lost it going into the corner. That's so unfortunate. And it's cost them so much time.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Rafael Rodriguez, who is just having terrible luck. But I think the worst case is that they would be, if your 30-second estimate is right, I think they will be right between Adrian Newt and Alexander Vanderwood, but we can't tell until Rafael Rodriguez does indeed serve that drive-through penalty.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's just so unfortunate. That's also cost them their tires. They're probably fighting flat spots at this point on old tires that are probably going to need to be replaced at this point.
Yeah, those tires must have been taking quite a beating in that spin. Not as much as, I would say, a spin in Sebring, but those tires are have gone through quite the abrasion. That's all I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. As they head down toward Sector 2, they're heading down toward I believe this will be turn 10 to turn 11, and you know they're gonna have to try again. They have to serve this penalty within, I think it's either this lap or the next lap. They have to serve it. So I assume that they will come in, do the drive-through, and I wonder after that maybe they'll go for fresh tires. I don't think so, but that's again just so unfortunate.
I mean, it's a drive-through penalty. I think it's best if you just go through with a penalty and not give yourself another unnecessary pit stops and just commit to the tires. Now, it will be painful. It will be very tedious, but I think it's much better than just going through the pit lane once again and going for a fresh set of tires because, yeah, again, that pit lane is long. It's just painstaking time, just eating away. So I think it's best to just stick with what you have at this point and just try and survive it.
Yeah, unfortunately, this will knock them out of the podium. And now Rafael Rodriguez has served their penalty. They are clear to go. They're only 3 seconds behind New. So that's not an insane gap to make up, but this is going to be on somebody with fresher tires than him. So I don't know if they'll be able to hold it for long.
I feel like Rodriguez is currently on damage control, all things considered. So Adrian might not have too hard of a time, but only time will tell whether Rodriguez regains their momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. This could be a podium. This could not. We'll have to see as we see Vanderwood is slowly catching up to Rodriguez, but not by much. They have 11 seconds to catch up to Rodriguez, so anything could happen at this point.
Yeah, Alexander Vanderwood clawing a little bit of time, but it's an 11-second gap, which is pretty huge with the time considering we have 24 minutes remaining to the session, and at the moment I feel like Rodriguez is clawing more time on Newt than Vanderwood is clawing time on Rodriguez.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that Newt is going a little bit wide, was a little bit wide going out of that corner. It's not really going to affect them too much, but here we go, heading into 12, and I believe this is 12, and yeah, this is 13 and 14, I'm sorry. And you could see they're just keeping it nice and stable. They've got a fair gap. It's going to be, I almost want to say Rafael might catch up to Newt, like, yeah, right now we've got a little bit of an off-track moment. We'll have to see what happens here. Here we go, heading down. This is
Rotiainen.
Yeah, it was Rotiainen.
What the? Oh,
what?
Fourth dimension technology. Oh.
Yeah, another fourth dimension moment. We know it looks like they just kind of went a little bit wide, but were able to save it. It's just that on our end, it just looked like they just yeeted themselves into the Shadow Realm. So we'll have to forgive us for that.
Yeah, I think Rotiainen decided to try and shift into the fourth dimension to Little Surveil, and that's Rotiainen spinning! Can they save it? Can they keep it off the barriers? Just close! Oh my goodness!
Mm-hmm. That was inches.
Oh.
Inches, but a lot of flat spots. Because that was
away from
really...
doing damage.
Yeah, inches away from rear wing damage. That could have gone so much worse, but thankfully they were able to save it. Unfortunately, it's not really they aren't gonna lose anything. They aren't gonna gain anything either, so super unfortunate.
They are in one piece, albeit with a bit of flat spawning. I mean,
exactly.
Statement.
Yeah, exactly. As Nuke goes a little bit wide, going out of, I believe that's 10. That might be 10. I couldn't tell. But again, it's not really going to affect them. They still have 7 seconds to Rodriguez, so as we can see, they're really pushing the car. Was that a drift? I couldn't tell if it was fourth dimension shenanigans or a drift. I couldn't tell.
Anyways, Adrian Newt, 4 seconds down the road on Fabio Sol, so I think Newt is looking to try and beat Solf to a P2 position, because that is a feasible gap. If Newt has the pace to just claw time off of Fabio Sol, the P2 position could be theirs, but a podium is a very great position regardless. But Rodriguez, again, I mean, little by little, but I think Rodriguez might want a piece of the podium still.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to try to get that podium. It is possible. They've done it before. This is a 6-second gap that they need to claw back in 20 minutes. He's done it before. I don't see him. I don't think he can't do it again, but you never know. You can see that the timing difference is almost. That's not right. It's not 10 seconds, is it?
I think they're both 5 seconds off of each other.
If that's the case, I'd say within the next, 3 or 4 laps, Rodriguez might catch up to Newton?
Yeah, I believe so. But again, it's a little bit hard to tell. In my timing sheets, I think Rodriguez is the faster of the bunch, with their last lap being 2 seconds faster than both Newt and Saul, and Fabio Saul was just a little bit faster than Adrian Newt, so it's gonna be really close.
Yeah, it's going to be closer. Oh, as we say that, Raphael had a little bit of a snap. Again, these cars have been having that problem. As you can see, it cost them dearly going out of Le Mans. It caused them to go wide, but they were able to save it. But that was a bit of a scary moment.
Yeah, I have been hearing a lot about the LMP2 car being pretty unstable and a bit temperamental if you drive it the wrong way, and we almost saw that happen with Alvarez, and yeah, I think we've definitely seen that happen a lot with our other drivers.
Yeah, we've had a few drivers who have just had like the worst luck, and super unfortunate as we follow along still with Rodriguez. They're on a charge, but the gap's only slowly going down. It's now 3.7. So, I mean, still a bit of an ask with the difference. So, but you never know.
Yeah, at the moment the field is looking a little bit silent for now, but we do have some interesting plot points developing here with Adrian, Fabio,
that's Newt!
Rafael Rodriguez.
That's Newt!
That's Newt off.
That is Newt!
That is Newt off track, and that is another position for Rafael Rodriguez. I wonder what happened to them.
It looks like snap oversteer from the position of the car. Yep, it's snap oversteer.
There is. That'll do it. And oh, the correction was a little bit too much for that car.
Yeah, they tried to save it, couldn't do it, and they just snapped oversteered into the side road there. Thankfully, no damage other than their tires, but super unfortunate for Newt. And now Rafael Rodriguez has to try to catch up to Saul, but that's going to be a tall ask, because that's Raikkonen.
Oh, that's Raikkonen on the grass. So I think these tires are starting to give way to those who have stayed. I think to those who have decided to stay out on these tires. I'm not sure about the strategies. Oh, I guess we have that technology
more
happening
fourth dimension
again.
shenanigans.
Oh my goodness.
Following along now with RK, they have a fairly massive lead again. I think it's like 25 seconds at this point, just due to the fact that Rodriguez had that drive-through. And now all he has to do at this point is just drive.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a little bit of a gain. I think that's on between Newton and Vanderwood. I don't know, but there could be some TIG gang action here very soon. That's Newt. Who's he with? I could have sworn I saw somebody near him. Maybe it was just me.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but Vanderwood is 9 seconds down the road on Adrian Newt, so I'm not sure if it's Newt. It could be a lapped car, for all I know, but that could be the plausible case. But as we see Fabio Saul and Rafael Rodriguez. Was that Rafael Rodriguez? No, that was a lapped car.
That was probably the lap car that I was seeing. I was like looking at the map and I'm like, wait a minute, that's a bit close, and it dawned on me that it could have just been a lap car.
Yeah.
Jensen still doing well. A lap ahead of the guy behind them, Blade Kakihigo, who has had a very, I'd say, lonely race after their incident in turn 1. And now they just kind of gotta survive at this point, and they'll have a decent points finish, a decent place finish.
Yeah, we only got 8 drivers here so far. I'm not sure what happened. I think. Wait a minute. Where did Jake Jensen go? Could it be?
I think that
I think it might be a retirement for Jake Jensen. That was out of nowhere. My best guess is.
was it just an
probably
internet
a network
hiccup?
issue. I think it was a net issue for Jake Jensen because they just disappeared out of nowhere. Last time we saw them, they were driving out there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. We'll have to wait and see. It looks like it's just, yeah, it looks like I don't see anyone else. I think it was just a network issue or a retirement. I don't know. But
That is my best guess. But at the moment, I think the grid is as it is because we do have 50 minutes remaining, and so far I don't think we've been seeing a lot lately. But these gaps have been pretty consistent, that's for sure. And we only have like 7 drivers out on track right now.
anything can happen. I don't know. I mean, Raphael's slowly but surely gaining on them, but that's a 7-second gap in 15 minutes. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't think much is going on as... Oh, Trigger Devil, Rotiainen, I see a yellow, but it could be another... And I'm kind of suspecting that Rotiainen's been having net issues with their fourth dimensional brakes or something, but I'm not sure. But Rafael Rodriguez slowly clawing down lap times. What will this be? Now Fabio Sol's last lap time was a 49.5. This is a 49.0 from Rafael Rodriguez. So at the moment, they are running away from Newt, but they're just slowly inching in on Fabio Sol. It's gonna be close, but who knows? It's just really tight margins out here.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work that well, to be honest, because they are in a fairly rough. They're in a fairly rough spot. I think those tires are almost done at this point. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Because remember, he's using the tires that he's used from the start. So.
Yeah, at the moment, these drivers just settling in and just, I guess, wrapping it up because it's only 13 minutes remaining, sorry. And these gaps are quite huge to be trying to capitalize off of each other. So the best course here is to just keep your marks and just send off the season.
Yeah, at this point, you're basically in open air at this point. While we were discussing, I just happened to look. We have the pit times for the pit stops that have gone today. For the round of pit stops that happened. RK with a 45.3, Fabio with a 34.6. So that was probably just fuel. Rafael Rodriguez, it says 0, but I want to say it was.
I think it was the drive-through.
It was, yeah, I think that was a drive-through. I think it was a 30-second. But this is the interesting one. Alexander Vanderwood, 1 minute 11. I think they got damage and they repaired that damage because that is a very long pit stop. Raitanen with a 42.7, Jake Jensen with a 39.4, and Blade Wolf unfortunately didn't set the pit time was not recorded, but unfortunately I think it was a fairly decent one.
Yeah, at the moment, I think everyone's just settling in because, as you said, they've already made their pit stops, and all there is now is to just bring the car home. As you can see, Alexander Vanderwood, who's just, I would say, a little bit faster than Adrian Newt. I think that's about 0.8 of a second on their last lap compared to Adrian Newt, but again, with 11 minutes, I don't think it will be worthwhile.
It's so unfortunate Like we've had these minor things, the drive through from Rodriguez, the spin from Rodriguez. We've had the off tracks with Adrian Newt, these little things that have culminated into massive time loss, but with 9 drivers on the field, I mean, it's super unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I think it's really easy to end in a bad situation here with the LMP2. Pretty temperamental car and a pretty unpredictable one if you try to push it really hard, but a driver that has managed to tame that very sketchy LMP2 car is Robbie Kelly, who has been having nothing but Sunday drives throughout their whole campaign here, and kudos to them for taming such a wild car.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had a flawless run this entire season. At this point, the race win is all but guaranteed, and now all RK has to do is just bring it home, and he's got it.
Yeah, Robbie Kelly looking pretty flawless in that LMP2 car, not putting a major mark wrong, knock on wood. I mean, you've seen what happened, but I think Robbie Kelly's got everything under control.
Yeah, I mean, unless something horrific happens, I don't foresee this changing anytime soon, as Rafael Rodriguez, again, slowly but surely trying to catch up to Fabio Sol, but that race, the penalty and everything, I feel so bad for them, because that was, like, the strategy almost worked. They would have had the gap to RK, and this could have been very interesting, but they had that drive-through. It's just so unfortunate.
Yeah, I feel like Rodriguez had the pace, but unfortunately, as you said, those spins, that penalty just hampered him quite a lot, and they are in fact on the podium, but I think that's game set match, because Fabio Sol is quite a way ahead of Rafael Rodriguez. So unless a mistake happens, knock on wood, that does not happen, Fabio Sol finds himself on P2, which is a surprise but a welcome one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Wait, that's
That's
Rafael
Rodriguez! Once
Oh
again!
no, what happened?
We have discussed plenty of incidents, and Rodriguez just
Was
trying
this
to
a
get back on
lockup?
track. Well, that's my
Here we go,
best
heading
guess.
out of the corner. No, I don't think it was.
Oh no, it's
Oh,
yeah.
again!
It's just a little bit of instability on the car, and just
That was it. The oversteer. The oversteer once again claims another victim, and this has now opened the door for Adrian Newt and Alexander
that's
Van
rear wing
der Wood.
damage. That's rear
That
wing
is
damage.
rear wing
There's
damage.
no
What
rear
happened to
wing.
Adrian Newt? You're right. Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
I think that rear wing's done. Well,
think it's the same
I know
thing
the
as
rear wing's done, but I think
Rodriguez.
that car might be done. They are going to be able to push the car.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I think Newt's best course is to just keep the crawl as quick as they can, but without spinning, because
You see the
with the
pit
lack
lights
of a
are on.
rear
He's putting.
wing.
Yeah, he's putting the pit lights on. At this point, he knows that he can't drive the car fast, so he's put on the pit lane and is trying to stay out. He's gonna have to go in for damage repair if he just doesn't bother to retire at that point, because
That's a little bit of
very,
crabbing as
very
well.
bad. What happened?
It's a mystery. Unfortunately, we can't get a replay, but it was heavy damage coming off of Sector 1. It could be similar to what happened to Rodriguez. And
Yeah, the
that's
snap
that is
oversteer.
just painful to watch.
Yeah, there you can see RK is caught up to Adrian Newt, and you can see they're just trying to slowly limp this car to pit lane. I mean, they're trying at least. They've got plenty of time to repair whatever damage it needs, but I mean, you still can't drive. It has no wing. So
Yeah, thankfully, Newt is pretty close to the pit lane, as you can see.
yeah, he's there now.
Yeah,
He's
just a
coming in.
corner
No
away.
surprise there.
But
Oh, it goes
it's
wide out of
really
the pit
hard to
lane.
get the car turning.
Yeah, I mean that wing must be completely. The car must be completely
Yeah.
screwed at this point because it's like,
You can hardly turn left either.
yeah, it's bad. What happened? I'd
I
love
mean,
to
it's a
know what
mystery to
happened, but
me.
unfortunately,
I
it will
think
be a mystery.
unless we can get something from Newt after the race, which while we won't have driver interviews, we will definitely be watching and chatting with the drivers after the race on what happened to their race.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see Newt has come in. I think they're at this point just going to try to go for points. This is Blade Wolf. They are the closest driver to them, so they would have gotten the lap back. Depending on how long this repair takes, they may be able to save this. With 5 minutes left, that's going to be, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Following along now with Arcade, they've just been kind of cruising along at this point. They're heading down toward turn 10 and 11, and I mean, I don't know. Wait, I just realized I think Newt retired the car.
Yeah.
I think. I don't see
No,
them in the
Newt
pit
is
lane
still
anymore.
Newt is still in
Nope.
pits. No, Newt
No,
is
they're still
coming
going.
out. So that car is prepared and coming out, and
That's Blade
should be-
Wolf.
yeah, they should be
It's
coming
gonna
out
be
ahead of
close.
Blade Wolf, because that's
Just a-
turn. Yeah, that's a backstretch. So Blade Wolf Kakio still behind Adrian Newt, and Adrian Newt on their merry way for like 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, 4 minutes remaining, and wait, that's
Rotiainen.
that's
Roti-
Rotiainen. I think they just pulled to the side to let them by. To be honest,
Yeah.
because it doesn't look like the car's damaged or they're sideways. I think they just ducked on the inside to try to get out of the way.
Yeah, at this moment, it's just to wrap up the race, to wrap up the season. It's been pretty dramatic, although I would probably say the current heat wave we have kind of killed off, unfortunately, any attempts for the last 2 rounds. Because for example, we didn't even broadcast Bahrain at all, but this weather has been really tedious for these drivers, so you gotta feel them.
Yeah, I agree. This has just been an absolutely, I'd say, a painful run for a lot of these drivers. And, I mean, it's super unfortunate, like, Newt having that incident. Just everybody, I think the only people that I've not really seen in, like, spinning or anything else was Vanderwood and RK at this point.
I mean, besides Vanderwood's little save, just I think.
Well,
yeah,
in the rear
Vanderwood-
end, and getting rear-ended by Rafael Rodriguez.
Yeah, Vanderwood and Robbie Kelly have been driving relatively drama-free, all things considered.
Yeah, absolutely. And it could have gotten interesting at the end. I mean, this isn't me being biased. I could feel how bad Rafael must be kicking himself after getting that drive-through, because they came out ahead of RK. They could have fought it, but unfortunately they had that drive-through, and it just cost them everything.
I mean, I don't blame you at all. I would be in a similar situation as well. I'll be kicking myself. I mean, that's just how you feel. How you feel as a driver. You feel frustrated that you haven't done enough, and like even seeing your competitors in this situation, that's just horrible.
I mean, I think the part that probably stung the most was, like, he got out ahead of RK, was fighting RK. He probably could have done it. For how long remains to be seen, because RK did get tires, but I mean, he could have had a chance. He very easily could have had a chance, but
Yeah.
unfortunately it got through. It unfortunately was lost because of what happened. And now we're following along with Newt. They're coming out of the hairpin. only about a minute and a half, or a minute and 50 left, so only a couple more laps, and then the session will, and then we will be done with the LMP2 series. And I mean, right now it's just everything's just kind of quieted down. Like I'd say the positions at this point are basically set.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't think anyone is moving up or down the field. I feel like everyone's just getting these laps done and making sure they get to the end, get to the checkered flag, because there's only like, I feel like, what are the lap times? I would say,
Minute 50s,
one-
minute 49s.
I would say one lap remaining. I think Robbie Kelly is well on the way on their final lap.
Yep, absolutely. I don't see the white flag though, so I think this next lap will be the final lap. 50 seconds
Yeah,
to go. I think actually, you know what? I think I'm wrong. I think this will be the final lap because the timer will hit 0 by the time RK gets to the start finish line. So at this point, the race is all but done. RK has successfully sealed a pretty, well, I should say, an absolutely dominant series, dominant championship run in this series, and you know, hats off to him. You know, he put this, he did what he needed to do.
Yep, Robbie Kelly had an absolute stonking performance. 5 out of 6 wins. They did miss the round at Bahrain, but as far as drop rounds are concerned, that's basically a perfect campaign. That's just a win every race. That is a championship in dominant fashion as Robbie Kelly goes through, I would say, the end and wraps up the second sector and goes through the third sector for one last time. He does have Alexander Vanderwood right ahead of him, and I think Vanderwood might concede just to get the lap
He has
over
to.
with. I think
Is this a good? Wait, no.
they're bump drafting. They're just playing around. There's no way.
Yeah,
As
they're just
Robbie
trying to give us heart
Kelly-
attacks at this point.
Robbie Kelly rounds the final corner at sunset to wrap off a campaign and to become the inaugural Simufur prototype champion.
Absolutely amazing drive. Everything went RK's way, and you know, hats off to him. Absolutely great job. As we see coming down the corner, that's Rotiainen heading down toward the last quarter. So they will finish off in P5. Alexander Vanderwood P4, Rafael Rodriguez P3, Fabio Sol P2, and our winner again will be Robbie Kelly.
12 cars entered and only 7 have finished this race. That's how much attrition happened here. I mean, attrition both here in the race and in terms of the weather, because these drivers must be struggling. As we see Fabio Sol wrapping up on and getting on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see right behind them, that's going to be Rafael Rodriguez. At this point, just happy that it's over. I mean,
hold on. I want you guys to pan after Rodriguez crosses the line. I want you guys to look over at what's happening at Tig Gang Racing, because I mean,
oh no,
they were. I was literally looking at them forming a train, forming a huge line.
Oh my god.
Like they were bumper to bumper, and yep, they're doing celebratory donuts.
I mean, absolutely deserved. Special.
Yeah, well deserved for Robbie Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely deserved. Rough time for. This was just an interesting race. I mean,
I don't think the kids can see this. I don't think the kids can see this. If you have kids, look away. If your kid, look away. If you have parents, close their eyes.
Do I want to know?
I mean,
Rafael Rodriguez just chilling there, like, what on earth is going on?
I don't know.
So, I will point this out. Despite everything that happened, technically, Rafael Rodriguez did secure P2 in the championship, so super super happy for them. Absolutely deserved.
Yeah.
They tried their hardest. I feel like we were filled up earlier, and if they were able to make round one, they probably would have had a better shot. But it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I would be if I was in your boots, I would be pretty happy too, because that's definitely a way to introduce a new racing team. You have,
I mean,
you
I'm gonna
had
be real.
Rodriguez,
Isn't this
who has
how
been a
Louis
solid
started?
driver.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair, isn't this how
true.
Louis? Yeah, we won in.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit shades. I'm getting a little bit of nostalgia right here, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
It's
that's
eerily
yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, yeah, I think that should wrap up the prototype challenge. That is Robbie Kelly, your champion. And while racing is over, I can't say much, but the racing is not going to be over for long, because we do have something underway. The patrons will know this, but at the moment it's still under wraps. If you're a patron, you'll know it, but be quiet. Anyways,
Yep.
that will wrap off the campaign. I am Suzuka, alongside Wolfin and Denak behind the screens, and we would like to thank you for watching throughout the whole campaign, and see you next race, hopefully.
Yep. See you next time.